Hello, everyone. So SOS Children's Villages work in Sweden and all over the world. We collect tons of data about children, youth, and families that we work closely with. We believe that with the help of AI and external expertise, we could actually have huge potential to draw a lot of deep insights of this target group. And we could use the result to influence policymakers, provide better care and help for the families and children. But we have a challenge. All the data we handle is actually highly sensitive. So we actually had to say no to a lot of the external collaborations to research institutes or AI data-driven companies that want to offer the help for us. So we would like to have a tool that can identify and anonymize sensitive data for us according to our needs. And then we could use this tool to break the bottleneck for our future AI development. I think not just for us, but also for many of the NGOs in the industry or even other actors in the society, municipalities, etc. So I really look forward to the solutions. Thank you.
So, hey everyone, my name is Mohammed Ahsan. I'm a Google developers expert in Angular, and I'm also a software architect working at Scania at the moment.
Hi everyone, I'm Ram. I'm also working in Scania as a full stack developer.
Awesome. So I want to start with a question. How many of you know this concept of evil eye? Can I have some? Good. So whenever I get sick, I fell from my bicycle or have any issue with me, my mom says, "You posted that picture on Facebook. That's why you fell down." And I think that happens till even today. What if we had a way of still having a sense of security, especially mentally, and have a system where people are basically willing to submit their information without this sort of fear of getting the information in the wrong hands? That's why we are working with SOS to anonymize the data, to make sure that we have a way of still people being able to submit their data for research purposes and whatnot, and still be safe. So I'm going to quickly start showing you what we do. We call it Privacy Shield. This is a really intuitive user interface. So anyone can come here, select a particular file for PII. For example, I'm going to take a text file here. And we're using AI, we're using Google Gemini, being at Google, of course, to redact the file. By default, what it does is that it uses Gemini to figure out what are the sensitive areas here. And you can see that by default, it redacts all of those informations. You can always see the original values here. For example, here, John Doe got hidden. Patient IDs also got hidden. And if you wanted to have more granular control of what you really want to hide, you can always provide more information as this custom prompt here. So you can tune what kind of redaction do you want. You can also try to also remove a specific text that you want to redact. For example, I don't want this patient record to be in the output. So you can also provide terms that you want to use for redaction as well. So here, I made a mistake. As you can see, I don't know how to type record. So patient, let's do that again. And add, redact file. And you should be able to see that that's also gone. So you can basically provide custom properties here as well. If you wanted to replace this with fake data instead, you could also do that. So instead of just having a weird file, you have still data, but that's completely anonymized. So now we have Alice Smith instead of John Doe, and the whole data exactly remains the same. This is in gist of what this whole system allows for us. So you have customization, you have custom values as well. And I'll pass it over to Ram.
Yes, and in that note, we only don't have only file, right? We might have a huge database in our system, and we want to anonymize that. So for that also, we are thinking to have an API solution where user could talk to the API, and it will use the same centralized engine of Gemini, and it will anonymize all the data. Right now, let's say it is supporting CSV with the GDPR information and other customized, let's say a tag, which Emma already highlighted, and it will give you the response in that way. So right now, it is reading a Postgre data, which is thousands of files, and giving you the response anonymously. and it will give you the response. So any third-party solution can store it and use it. As she also mentioned, many parties are looking into this anonymous data to make and train the model. So all those information will be shared and it will be used.
Yes. So in this particular example, we are actually looking at an SQL data. We are using the same system that we have developed. So it's a separate entity using our API to redact data. So you can provide files to your databases and it goes through all the records and you can basically use our API endpoint. So here you can see that we still have the redacted data as well. What I want to move forward is when you scale this to organization level and have employees who are working, you may want to also have history of what each employee is doing, or an employee want to see their files that they have redacted in the past. So we're using the Google ecosystem for this. So everything that you see here, we are using Google hosting, Firebase hosting, we are using Firestore database, we are using cloud functions. And essentially, when I'm logged in, I can actually have a history of all my files that I've redacted before. I can actually see what did I use as a configuration when I was trying all of this. So when did I do it? Did I use AI? Did I use masking or fake information? Did I try to use any custom values? For example, here, I use patient to remove this. So all of those things are basically part of this whole solution. So I want to go just forward with one last thing, and that is just showing the architecture of what we have built. So everything that we mentioned is on Firebase hosting. We are using hosting functions, storage, Firestore authentication. The example that you saw uses our redact content Firebase function, which uses Gemini, Flash API, or 2.0 Flash experimental. And as I also mentioned, we are using Google SSO for easier access, for history. And also, you can download these files that we just saw at any point, and this would show you the redacted sample of the data. For example, here you can see PI sample redacted, and you can always go back and rerun the redaction if you are not happy with what you did before.
I guess that's it, and the time also.
I hope I didn't go over.
Thank you so much.